I would like to give a brief history and account of Berbera Port. Berbera Port is a very old port, used for thousands of years, even used by the pharaohs, and has been visited by many explorers, including the Portuguese. The modern port, I think, it started with the Turks back in 1870. The Turks were in Somaliland from 1870 to 1874. And they built the first port, which is now the fisheries jetty to the present time in Berbera, recently rehabilitated by Saad. After that, the British built another jetty, which in this use at the present time. And then in 1964 came the Soviet Union. And nowadays we only use Russia. People have already forgotten that it used to be called the Soviet Union. And they built at the first 300-meter quay. Then came the Americans and built the second quay, 300 meters, in 1982. The history of Berbera Port, because of its strategic location, is also the history of the Cold War in UAE. Now it has been 34 years since the port was finished, back in 1982. The population of Somaliland was less than half of what it is today. The demand for port domestically has increased exponentially. It now handles about 1 million plus tons of general cargo a year. And we export up to 3.5 million heads of sheep and goats, cattle and camels a year as well. This year probably will be handling about 60,000 containers, 30,000 full, 30,000 empty. Probably it's close to about 70 to 80% of its capacity. It's already congested. So here comes the need for expanding the port just for domestic use. But given its strategic location, that's not the only demand which the port of Berbera needs to meet. On the hinterland, we have Ethiopia with a population of 90 million plus and an economy growing 7, 8, 9%, sometimes double digits, growing very fast, which mainly relies now on the Djibouti port, which is also congested. To put together the economies of the region, we take into consideration the population growth, which will double in another 25 years. You will definitely come to the conclusion that the region needs just not only one port, but many ports. And it's in that light that many companies approached us to develop and invest in the Berbera Port. Before Dubai World Ports, we had 6 contenders, 6 companies that wanted to invest and expand the port. So we finally started negotiations with Dubai World Port because they operate the best deal. Now the deal consists of extension and rehabilitation and the re-equipment of the port plus pre-surgery. The first extension will start immediately after the handover date. We will immediately start the engineering work, the design and engineering, which will take about 12 months. And the construction will start and it will be completed within 24 months. So altogether 3 years. Now it will start the construction of a 400-meter quay. Now with the capacity utilization of the port, of the old port and the new port reach 75%, that will kick in the construction of the second phase of the extension with another 400 meters. So when the project is complete, we will have 800-meter quays. That will accommodate about 3 container ships. 2 large container ships, those up to 3 container ships. And the port then will be able to handle 1.52 million containers a year. So there's a big difference. Its capacity today of 60 to this capacity when it's completely developed, it's 1.25 million containers. The port will serve, as I said earlier, Somaliland and also Ethiopia and beyond, the landlocked countries in East Africa. Now, this is a very important project. The planned investment is $442 million over a 30-year extension period, concession period. So that's going to be the biggest investment Somaliland has ever seen. It will bring with it a lot of opportunities during the construction period and when it starts operating. As a result of increasing volume and increasing demand for services for the maritime traffic. It will also, we believe, open the door for other investors who are interested in investing in the country. It will shy away from it at the present time. Once dry well takes the lead, we already have people who are inquiring. So we hope and believe that the project will create employment in the port, outside the port, in Berbera, in the country as a whole. The free zone is also very important. We visited Jabal Ali Port and Free Zone. During the tour, we were told that in the free zone there were 7,500 companies, just in the free zone. And that 25% of the national income comes from Jabal Ali. 40 years ago, it didn't exist at all. And today it's one of the biggest ports in the world. With almost that has 35-kilometer quay. Yeah. And it handles, it was 15 million containers a year. Quite well. One of the reasons why we have chosen GB Well, apart from the advantages and the good offer, was its experience. The Dubai Well today manages 77 ports around the world. In Canada, in the UK, Europe, the Middle East, in Asia, China, all over the place. So it brings us a lot of experience that we really need. When we signed the concession several days ago, I think that was a big story around the world. It was covered by most of the international broadsheets and televisions as well. And that really tells you that this is just a small fish. It's not a matter of just domestic interest. It's of international interest. And we're very hopeful. Thank you very much.
I think that will be the start of our session. The rest of the session will try to open up for more for your comments and questions. Ministers will be able to respond to your questions and comments if you like. So at the cream will help me.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saad, for having explained it. And even for me, unknown to your paper. The question, I have one question, it's actually two. Here's one. There are a lot of rumors about involvement of Ethiopia in this deal. Can you please clarify? Second one, if Dubai will sell some of her shares to Ethiopia or any other, can they do it?
Thank you very much for a very good presentation, Dr. Saad, and it's an honor to have the panel here. I have one question, and so how does the development of the port link to one of the other projects that have been discussed also for decades, like the Berbera Corridor, because to transport the goods also to and from Ethiopia, you really need to expand the infrastructure. Also, the requirements for electricity and energy in Berbera and surrounding areas will increase. So are there any of these other massive investments related to that? Thank you.
One.
Thank you, Dr. Saad. I think it was a very extensive presentation. My point is, despite the opportunities you have mentioned it, what are the challenges we anticipate in the future in this, really efficiency of the Berbera ports? Thank you. Yes. I mean, you have explained the investment, how it's important to Somaliland, to have such efficient. So my point to make is that what can be a challenge, we can face as Somaliland, since it could be the infrastructure, maybe different perspectives. What can be the challenge we need to deal with in the future? Thank you.
The challenge?
Yes.
We answer first at these questions.
كل استعدوا إجابة مرة سؤال شو هو فضل وحيد سؤالها تبقى على نقطة عطية كانت سؤال شوي اسمعني يعني سؤالي لو بس سؤال تدوي من واحد Ethiopia being your question was is Ethiopia party to this deal? No, a big no. If you look to the videotapes and websites, you can only see Saad and Sultan of DP World signing that agreement, and there was no third party in there. As you know, Berbera is the only national property in that magnitude, and we cannot trust to third party agreement. The second question, can Dubai World sell their shares to third party? With the consent of Somaliland government. With the consent, only when we consent to it. It's an international phenomenon. This is what they call, when it comes to the share transfer, what they call a preemptive right. When the two parties are sharing something, if they want to sell the fair right of refusal belongs to the partnership. If Somaliland don't want to buy the share, then that's the only time they can sell to third party the fair part, and that third party should be approved by either party. What are the challenges? Infrastructure is one that we have to deal with it because the port cannot supply to neighboring countries unless the ports perform. And that will come soon. Also, the job and employment creation will demand a highly skilled labor force. And that requires Somaliland to develop its human capital. That's another factor. And I think Michael's question, I didn't answer that properly, so I would actually understand.
Dubai Road is fully conscious of the importance of rebuilding the road, and so are the Ethiopians, and so are we. The road from Berbera to Shire, which is sometimes called the Berbera Corridor, because it's part of the East African network of roads, which the EU has allocated funds for, has been on the cards since 2003. A brief feasibility study was done. A full feasibility study was done in 2014, and we reckon it's going to cost about 275 million altogether, depending on the quality. So we can rebuild it maybe with even less than half of that. If you really want a very good road, we're going to work on that with Dubai Well, with the government of Emirates, with the EU as well, to make sure that we have a road by the time the port's ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a very interesting panel. It's something that's greatly anticipated. I think it's going to be catalytic, certainly for Somaliland. I heard that there are potential plans to create an exclusive economic development zone or economic free zone, some kind of development zone in Berbera. Is that something formal? Is it speculative? What would be the interest to develop that? And is there other ways the international community or external investors could possibly support that?
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Minister. My name is Habib. The Berbera Port is one of the, if not the biggest building project in Somaliland since we declared our independence. And as you have said straight away when you came back from Dubai, that we will be needing or we will be building Berbera Port with the cement that is produced in our country. I have done a study with the cement importation in our country, or the industry, or the cement industry to be precise. And we import mainly from Oman and recently from Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, they have close to 20 cement factories. Some of them are not factories, but close to 20 factories. In Yemen, they have 5 cement factories. In the neighboring Somalia, they don't have. Nor do we. Now, we spend millions in cash given to Oman and Yemen, while our cement factories, it can be built. We have done an estimation that it can be built from 150 million to close to 300 million based on the capacity that you want to produce. But in our situation, we can have a cement factory that needs investment of maximum 150 million, and that money is available in Somaliland. Our traders have huge savings that are just lying there unutilized. So I understand there was an attempt by the government and some private sector traders to initiate, but there has been no agreement. Is there a plan by the government to raise funds from the people of Somaliland so that they can build and take opportunity of this huge once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity in Somaliland and actually build the cement before the construction of the cement, before the construction of Berbera Port begins? Thank you.
One more question, and from Hassan, and then we'll give to me. Please make a question.
My question is, my name is Hassan Yusuf. I heard the Berbera Port deal a lot of times, but I haven't heard the agreement. But I want to clarify one thing. Is this clause is part of the deal? For example, can we establish another port in Somalia? Is there such a clause saying no other port can be established? What does that statement, what is approximate kilometers, saying close to 400 or 500 kilometers, something like that? Anything that says no other port can be established in Somaliland. Or if another port is to be established in Somaliland, we're going to have to find us first refusal rights. That means if you says no. That's one question. The second question is, who approached who? Somaliland or Berbera Port approached DP World, or DP World approached Berbera Port or Somaliland? That's the two questions I'd like to ask.
Thank you. We'll give that to me, Quran.
Is there an economic reason as part of the project? Yes. The concession consists of two companies, a port and a prison. Up to now, being part of the deal, it will be Dubai World, which will be investing in the prison. We're still working on the format and how other investors might be involved. But as for now, it's part of the deal. And it's going to be, Dubai World Force, who's going to invest in the prison. Of course, once you have the space, it will be open for other companies to come in and, build warehouses, factories, residential area, hotels, and all sorts of things that you normally see in prisons. With regard to the cement factory, I totally agree. I think it would be really shame if we built a port with cement imported from Oman or from Ethiopia or for that matter from anywhere else. When Berbera cement factory is just 9.5 kilometers from the port. Yeah? The good thing about the port, about our cement, that it was a top quality cement, I understand. And all the ingredients to make cement are within 15 kilometers. You don't have to import clinker, you don't have to import iron, you don't have to import anything else, it's all there. As to whether the government would initiate the rehabilitation of the cement factory or the rebuilding of the cement factory, and will offer shares or bonds or what have you to the public, we are not yet there. But I think that's a national matter. We really need to consider everything possible we can in order to have the cement factory up and going by the time the port construction starts. The old factory had a capacity of 600 tons a day. If you look at the statistics of cement we import at the present time, it's about I think between 400 and 500 tons a day. Ideally, we should have a cement factory which produce at least 1,000 tons a day. But I think there's plenty of opportunities to export the extra production, being a first quality cement. And I'll pass the microphone to Ali for the following two questions.
The other two questions came from the gentleman at the side. Your first question was, there a clause that says, can we build a new port? Can we develop a port? the contract saying after the capacity utilization of the current port and the developed port, 400 plus 400 plus 650, that's 1,450 metric almost kilometer an hour. When that reaches capacity utilization reaches about 35%, then Dubai World will have to fight the first price of refusal. Then if they refuse, we can ask anybody else to default. And apart of that, the only kind of port development that we will require Dubai World to do is container terminals. It's not included port, or if we're going to develop a jet or fishery or anything. As you know, currently the port of money is being underdeveloped through SCF projects of for fishery jet. But when we need to build a new container terminal or a new port terminal, that will Dubai will have to refuse. The second question is who approaches who? Yes, Dubai will approach us. They came here, they submitted a proposal, and we studied carefully. It took 5 months to evaluate and finally reach a decision. Thank you.
Mohamed, Liban.
Mohamed Liban. I have 2 questions. The first question is with regards to the total amount of investment in the port. You mentioned, the minister mentioned that it's 440 million odd. Is that being completely capitalized by the other partners, the government, in taking part in the investment? What part, is it the same 60-40 split, or is there a separate split of the capital investment? The second question is, going forward, when the port is up and running, does the government have any plans of privatizing part of their investment or selling it back to the public or the private sector? Thank you.
Faisal, and then one more this side. I was giving more the other side.
My name is Saad Abid. I am the Secretary General of the Somaliland Renewable Energy Association, as well as the General Manager of Capital Solar. I just want to share with the positive results of this kind of deals. I have been to Djibouti when the Dubai port arrived there, and if you see the difference of impact in the economy between the first day they arrived and up to now, you cannot even compare. What happened in 5 to 6 years was that there was a very big economic positive impact on every sector of the society. Employment, capacity building for the local technicians. The capacity of the port has already been increased. There was the leakage of the tax, and the customs duties has been minimized to zero. And what happened was that the Djibouti port authorities were requested to give a capacity building for the port of Ivory Coast and Senegal. And that is all of the positive development impact which has happened in less than 5 to 6 to 7 years. So when I just look at the port activity, it is a very broad-based development which happens in many sectors of the society. The standard of construction is going to change dramatically because it is not going to allow low-quality construction. The standard of electricity installation is also going to change. The handling materials and also the private sector is going to increase their capacity in terms of interventions to deal with the demand. So there is going to be a lot of positive change which we have been praying for this project to go through. So the society will benefit a lot in all sectors of the society, the private sector, the public sector, and everything. That is just what I just wanted to share. And thank you.
Thank you.
the question as to whether the 442 are all from Dubai Well, whether that's shared between the government and the investor. All the 442 are coming from Dubai Well, the investor. The contribution of Somaliland is going to be in kind. When the port is up and running, I heard you very well. The question was, will the government want to involve the private sector and sell the shares to them? Am I right? Right. Well, there is no plan as of now to sell any of the government shares to the private sector. With regard to the question who owns how much, the port is going to be managed by a joint investment company. As far as ownership is concerned, the port is going to be always owned by Somaliland. It's not going to be owned by Well or anybody else. Dubai Well is just going to run the operations. There will be a joint venture, and that joint venture is going to be owned 35% by Somaliland and 65% by Dubai Well.
Take two more questions. Yeah, it's rather go ahead. Then one more.
It's only to the question, but I think I need to clarify a few things. There has always been an interest in Berbera Port. As I said a few nights ago, 4 million people of Somaliland don't need such a big port. What we need, we can get in a much smaller port. But the port of Berbera is a port that serves a population of over 100 million and 120 million people. People with whom we've had communications and trade and cultural relations and every kind of commercial relations in the past. And as far back as 2002, 2003, when I was Minister of Foreign Affairs, there was always a government or a company that was making advances to Somaliland, showing an interest in the port of Berbera. But the visitors have been coming here, and I don't think it would be a breach of confidentiality. We've had people from Asia, we've had people from Europe, we've had people from the other side of the Atlantic who have come to offer or to apply for partnerships or for contracts to manage. None of them brought in cash. None of them brought in resources. It was people or companies that have an interest in running the port and getting money from it, salaries from it. There were big ones and there were small ones. As far as I know, there has never been a company as big as Dubai World who has shown an interest in Somaliland. It has shown an interest in Somaliland for various reasons. 2002, 2003, people didn't know what Somaliland was going to be. We were 10 or 11 years old. We were 7 years before that, we had demobilized our militia. They didn't know what kind of people were going to turn out to be. They didn't know it was really worth investing anything into Somaliland. Yes, we have a deep port. Yes, we are strategically located. But it was what was going to become of this country that calls itself Somaliland? Is it worth doing business with? And what has clinched the deal for the Dubai World to come up and say, we want to do business with you, is the track record of Somaliland. 25 years of stability, of steady development. That's what clinched it. without billions of dollars of taxpayers' money from abroad going into it. If we could recover Somaliland, if we could rebuild Somaliland with our own meager resources and maintain peace and stability with the resources that we have, that's the kind of people we do business with. And that's why it happened. And that's why, as an old Somalilander, I would like to hold on to that. Because this is going to be that small fish that's going to bring in bigger fish. If we manage the port of Berbera well, and we stick to our contracts, and we stick to our commitments, and we maintain our peace and stability in the Horn of Africa, and we don't get influenced by neighbors who would like us to have a different kind of behavior that maybe looks like their behavior, if we maintain the identity of Somalilanders, peaceful, stable, business-minded people, that little port of Berbera is going to bring in more. And we would like our partners to help us maintain that peace and stability and not influence us to go down and destroy the peace that we have earned with our own sweat and with our own determination. Yes, we want peace for neighboring Somalia. Of course we do. There are people as well. We want them to be gunned down. We don't want to die by giving life to somebody else. When I have an anemic patient who's going to die, if I don't give that person blood, I don't take all his blood to keep this one alive, I want to keep him alive, and I want to keep the patient alive as well. Somaliland should not die for the crime of others. Thank you.
One more question. Ladies.
Hello, my name is Halima from GARE Project. I read somewhere that there was a memorandum of understanding that the DP and the government side on the DP wanting to do infrastructure development and fisheries and agriculture. Is that true? And is there a possibility of such projects to joint venture with interested parties?
You take one more?
Yes, my name is Abdurrahman Mohamed Orsani. I'm from Dallas Company, Director Manager. My question is about the Berbera Port. We heard the news that there is a big deal between the Somaliland government and the DP World. It is a very good news, but I would like to introduce another option, another point which is very important. So my question is, not only Berbera Port, but there are many other ports as well, like Lughaya, Sayla, El Sheikh, and any other ports in Somaliland. What is the policy of National Minister of Planning these other ports, or the DP World will end the project only to Berbera? Thank you.
Sayla, Lughaya, Burhan, El Sheikh, Berbera, Ismail. It's a whole lot. We've got a long coast, 850 kilometers. We can have 850 ports, maybe, fishing, whatever. One at a time. Baby comes out one at a time.
This is to Dr. Saad. Dr. Saad, I think this is a question you have answered in so many different ways, so many times, but maybe I'm looking for a different angle. Do you think it was a good deal, a fair deal, or an absolute necessary deal? Can you explain why you think so, whichever it is?
Let's give the places to answer and also close the remarks. Thank you.
Right. With regard to the complementary projects regarding agriculture and so on, we signed initially 2 documents, almost all, that's before the concession, 10 sheets, which is the preliminary draft of the concession, and an MOU. The MOU we signed was with the Dubai government, not Dubai Workforce. And the Dubai government MOU included a number of sectors where they said they would be able to help. Agriculture included, transport, energy, tourism, and so on, employment, and so on. Now, that wasn't term commitment, but that was just, an expression of desire, of interest to help us in these areas. But I hope once we start the construction and extension of the port, we hope that they will commit themselves, as they said in the MOU, to the development of these other projects. Now, which form and shape they will take, we'll have to wait and see. What about the other ports, the Lubhaya, Jirdeh, and so on? I think there's nothing that prevents us right now to develop our small ports. Now the SIF is funding the development of Maida at the present time. So that's up to us. We can develop, and we need to develop the coastal area. We need to exploit our maritime and marine resources. That will not prevent us from developing other ports, as I said. But I'm also certain, not long in the future, we will need other major ports. But the way, at the rate at which the economies of the Horn are developing and the population is increasing, we're going to need, I think, 4, 5, 6, 7 Berbera ports. So come, I'm quite sure we'll have a day when, we'll be developing big ports, container ports in Jirdeh and Lubhaya and Karin perhaps, and in the east, Maid, the east, last Valley, all the way to last Valley. Now, whether the deal was good, fair, I think we signed the concession with the understanding and the belief that we had a good deal. And why do we believe that? Because we had the opportunity to compare it with 6 other proposals. And I think we got a good deal. We were supported throughout the negotiations with a team of lawyers and a team from Ernst & Young. And we asked them that question, that very question. What do you think? And they all said, we think it's a good deal. And I think the whole world has congratulated us. They think it's a good deal. Good deal for us, good deal for them as well. Thank you.
I just want to add one remark about the agriculture issue raised by Halima. I think as we speak in Somaliland, livestock can be exported to Emirates. They already agreed that. So you can give that news to livestock traders. Not only Saudi Arabia, also we have new market communities. The other question about the Ministry of Planning, I think Dr. Edna answered that question for us. Thank you, Edna. Davis comes one at a time.
I think with that, we are coming to the conclusion of our session. I hope in line with our promotion, investment promotion in Somaliland, maybe next year we'll be celebrating more development investment projects to discuss. So now we are, our session is closed. Thank you.
This is a historic event. When you have this kind of openness, this kind of accessibility, to have the ministers sit here and discuss openly with the forum of the private sector asking questions. I think it's a fantastic thing.